Stream of stuff this afternoon. I'm on time for a change, actually a minute early. And I'm going to use that minute, as always, to get onto Facebook Live here really quickly and make sure you all can comment on the live stream. So I have to change the settings so you all will be able to do that if you're watching on Facebook Live. You also have the alternative options of watching on Twitch TV. My username is JohnnyMacX, for those of you who have never used Twitch. Or you can use YouTube Live. Both of those links are on my Facebook page. Also at the bottom of my website, coopersellshomes.com. You can access all of my social media pages there at the very bottom. All right, so hopefully this afternoon I'm actually going to have a special guest with me, my friend Jonathan Root, who is also a realtor and a home inspector here in Texas. And I gave him a link to share. We're going to try this out. I've never had a guest here using the Restream. So we're going to do that today because we have a few things to talk about as far as real estate in Texas, as far as building, especially new construction. There was a video that circulated this week, and I wanted to talk about the issue that the consumer, potential home buyer, was having with the construction of said home by said builder, who I'm not specifically going to call out because I really shouldn't, because they're not the only ones that do it. So once Jonathan gets on here, we're going to let him tell me if I'm right or wrong, or in his opinion. He's laughing at me now. Hopefully he can get on Restream with me. While we are waiting, also want to ask all of you to consider donating to my fundraiser. Donations go to United Help Ukraine. They are an organization here based in the States that help Ukrainian wounded soldiers and Ukrainian people. I do have a Facebook donation set up. So if you're on Facebook, it's very easy for you to just click and donate. If you don't want to use Facebook, for those of you not on Facebook, you can go directly to unitedhelpukraine.com and donate to them directly. I will put the donate button in the chat on Facebook so you all may see it. I know some of you have, but I would like to remind you to please donate a few bucks to help them out. I'm sure you may have already donated to something else, but that's the one I chose. And for those of you using Facebook, you should see that now on the chat. Okay, Jonathan is still trying to work out the kinks with Restream. Restream, of course, based, their tech people are in Ukraine. It is the platform I'm using to stream this across all three platforms for free. They do have a pro version. I don't get paid to tell you that. I'm just telling you that's what I use. And I've been using it now for a few months. Works pretty good. And I'll have to just sit on one platform and stream only to that circle. You know, the rest of you can now not watch me or watch me. They are also headquartered in Austin. So, as you all know, I am in Texas. So, we're supporting both a Texas company and originally not a Ukrainian company, but the founders are from Ukraine and they do have employees based in Kiev. Hopefully, those employees have left Kiev. If not, they're there. Hopefully, they stay safe. Keep Restream going. I'm sure they can do that from their homes or remotely out of the country. Let's hope. So in the meantime, surprisingly here on time because I was eating lunch late and also watching NCAA basketball tournament. My alma mater, the UNC Tar Heels, are playing right now. Playing right down the street in Fort Worth. Yeah, I'm not there today. I don't have that this week to go watch basketball, unfortunately, live, even though they're here. And as I left halftime, currently whipping the crap out of Marquette. So hopefully the end of that game will continue in the same direction, and we will see them again live on Saturday for me to watch, since I won't be streaming anything instead. Actually, for some reason, oh, sorry, it's got some new buttons, and I thought this was not recording somewhere. It actually does record for you all later to go on, obviously, Facebook Live and YouTube as their lives end are permanently there for you to watch later. Twitch, on the other hand, is live only. It is not recorded. You can do that, but you have to pay for it. So I don't know anyone that does, because we all stream to multiple platforms and there's no need. Jonathan, can you hear me? Maybe. I can't hear you. I have your audio on. Let me put you on video at least and see if that helps.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Awesome.
Excellent.
Sorry for making you use weird technology.
No worries. How are you doing?
I am great. I use Restream, as I was tell everybody when they watch this, because it streams to multiple platforms at the same time. So I don't have to just sit on Facebook Live and talk to one person or whatever. I can talk to two people somewhere else.
That's awesome.
So it's on
Technology is
YouTube and
amazing.
Twitch also.
That's cool.
So the reason I brought you on here, I was telling them you are a realtor also, and lately you've been a home inspector.
Yes, that
Um,
is correct.
don't know if you saw the video. I know it was shared by several people on Facebook. I didn't share it, but a certain home builder here is using cheap materials on their homes, and it came to the person that's buying the home. Her own contractor told her it was garbage. Basically, they're using thermoply sheathing
Mm,
instead of the whatever brand that's green. I can't think of it right top of my head.
right. Yeah, there are a lot of builders cutting corners right now.
Yes, I wanted you to just tell me how common that is in the market right now. If you've even noticed, if you've been doing, I know you do new home inspections too.
Yeah, I have been doing a bunch of new home inspections. It is so. First of all, people should know that even in new home construction, it is not uncommon for them to be unfinished. Meaning, just with the supply chain issues that we've been having, um, I see homes all the time that don't have appliances in and just aren't finished. And a lot, in some ways, people are like, "Oh, that's the builder. That's the builder." Some of it they just can't get quick enough, and it is just. I mean, it's a mad dash to get stuff finished at this point, and it's and I will say that on new construction, people oftentimes think, "Oh, it's new. I don't need to get an inspection." But I will tell you that just across the board, have an inspection done. It's great to have a second opinion done. It's not only great for you, it's great for the builder, because when you have new construction, they have an electrician coming in. They have drywall people. They're all separate contractors. They're all working at different times. Just to give you a for instance, I frequently see the air conditioner breaker will be missized. So they'll have a 50 amp breaker in there, and then the maximum breaker size by the manufacturer is a 40, and it's just the AC guy puts it in, doesn't check the electrical panel, and it just gets missed. So having a second opinion, having an inspector out is always a good idea. Um, I sorry, I'm kind of blathering on probably longer than I should, but
No, we got an hour to kill. So you
awesome.
tell me what you want.
That's great.
Usually what I shoot for, or at least half an
Um,
hour. So
Yeah, in the last, I did a new construction today in Frisco. It was a 4,600 square foot home, and I mean, just there was probably, just in the 4 hours that I was there was probably 4 or 5 different contractors there. Somebody working on the gutters, somebody installing the vent hood. The actual the contractor was there trying to get fans to work, trying to get the fireplace to work, and I mean, it really is a crazy market, as I'm sure you know, but just definitely recommend having an inspection done. I was in one in Dallas the other day. It was too tall to get on the roof. They had clay tile roofs, so I just used my drone and got up and took a look, and they hadn't put the final ridge cap on to seal in the tile, and so it was just wood up there. So water will eventually run down into the roof and into the walls, and so yeah, it's beneficial for the contractor to have the inspection, because they're like, oh yeah, we need to have that fixed before it causes major damage.
like our hailstorms we had not even 2 days ago,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure
that's
water got into it then.
and those hailstorms I've been in. So in Frisco and Little Elm, I found major hail damage. Not, I don't think it was this hailstorm. I think it was the last hailstorm we had. And then I'll be at another house in Little Elm and there'll be no damage. It's baffling. Like, there was just pockets of hail that came through. Yeah, it's
That does happen. I mean,
it's
it is
wild.
baffling, but I used to live on 380 in Paloma Creek. We had a house up there for about 10 years, and usually my end of the neighborhood would get spared because it was lower elevation off the highway and
Mm,
barriered by woods because we were down by the creek. So everything, the north end by 380 would just get whacked by whatever's coming out of Denton,
right.
hail and everything, and our end of the neighborhood would be almost untouched sometimes.
Wow.
So I had hail damage once on the roof in 10 years of all the
That's
hailstorms that we had.
that's good.
So yeah, good for my insurer. They only
Right.
had to replace it once, but
Right.
even the guy that did the inspection for them was telling me only really one slope needed replaced.
Mm.
But of course, I'm
Yeah, we
telling the insurer, hey, you're not going to just replace one slope on a roof. So
yeah,
which they didn't. They took care of the whole thing, but
that's good.
I was arguing with the inspector, and I'm just like, how can you tell me it's just one slope and you've got pockets all around it?
Yeah,
He was a little
it's
nitpicky, but I guess for his own good.
our storms, tend to come out of, two directions, and it will usually hit those directions, but still, if you've had hail damage on one side of the roof, you probably have latent hail damage on at least another side of it, just whatever side of the storm that it came from. But and that may not show up right away. So I'll get up on roofs and I'll see hail strikes on vents because they're metal and they just show up instantly. And then it will be, a couple rains and stuff before they start showing these little UFO shapes and stuff on there. That's unlike the stuff that I saw in Frisco and Little Elm that was readily apparent. I mean, it had damaged the ridge caps and shingles throughout. Yeah.
Right. While you're talking, trying to find that video yesterday. I wanted to show at least like one short part of it. Unfortunately, by doing so, I'm going to be calling out the builder because their logo is all over the product that they're using. But apparently, they have a class action lawsuit filed against them too. So everyone will know. But let me see if I can get this on here. I want to find the part. Essentially, she's the potential homeowner has her contractor out. All right, I found it.
So did the homeowner they hired their own contractor to look at?
Yeah, she's having something built, so she has a guy out here telling her, basically calling thermoply cardboard, which, I mean, it kind of is. Let me see if I can actually share it on here. It takes me a sec, though. Okay, share screen. Window. Facebook. Unfortunately, it's going to show her name and whatever, but she's the one that took the video, so I guess she doesn't care. Let me see if you can hear it too.
With this hole that we noticed, there's more holes throughout. This is the outside structure of the home. Literally, that is literally it. Not even wood, literally just cardboard.
They don't want to spend the money on wood because the wood is so high, so they give you cardboard. And people don't know the difference, so they think they got it made. And a hurricane comes, gonna knock this house down. Everybody in this house will be getting hurt because it's cardboard and you got the bricks 6 inches apart away from the house. Even the studs inside are so crooked off the walls.
Well, show them the next issue, Mr. PJ. You want to go through the back of the house? Maybe you can show them the roof.
Then you got an AC, you got the dryer vent shooting out through the roof. All that is gonna get clogged up.
Show them that.
And you go look at the roof, what they do with the felt paper. Rip felt paper.
Apparently,
They just
they're
put in the shingles over it.
not felt papering between the shingles.
I'm going to show them this way, Mr. PJ. Because they can't see it all.
Something else later in the video.
The 2x4s, all flat and go.
You might not know will ever.
Metro need to.
DR. This would have been the living room.
Trying to find the guy.
Okay, Mr. PJ.
Felt paper, number 15. Felt paper, the light.
On top of the plywood. Newly built and.
Sorry, I'm jumping around.
So show them the cardboard.
It's all cardboard. It's all cardboard right here.
There
it is. It's early.
Yeah. Between the house. And he said,
The bricks supposed to be connected to the house.
So when they showed the original picture, they had brick ties on there, but that's that's crazy that they don't have backer board.
Well, that it looks like a good 6 inches away from the sheathing, which is a bit far.
Yeah, that's not.
They're saying 6. We're going by what these two people are saying, but it looks pretty close.
There should be a gap in between, just so that in between like the barrier and the brick, so that if water does get behind there, it can drain out the weep holes. But that's, I mean, yeah, that's a lot to unravel. I can't.
It's a while. The video is a lot longer. I didn't want to play the whole
Did
thing
he
for everybody.
say they were? He said something about it venting out the dryer vent, venting out.
I didn't even pay attention to that. That's the first time I heard it in the video.
That's not uncommon. I mean,
No.
a dryer vent, just as long as it's not, beyond a certain, there's certain perimeters, like on how much bends they can have in them, like that. If there's a 90-degree bend, it will reduce the length, but I mean, it's
I didn't even notice that in the video until now, because I paid no attention to that part. I was watching the sheathing issue and the brick issue, and they were mentioning the roof. What they're doing is nailing down the shingles without paper in between the wood and the shingle. And none of these people seem to care, that they're there watching. They're just doing what they're told and how to build it, I'm sure.
Right.
Because they were like directly behind the masonry guy doing the brick.
No, he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. That's, I mean, yeah.
And the reason I didn't mention the builder is because, and of course, whoever is watching just saw who it is by looking at their name plastered on the product, even though it's not their product, but multiple builders are doing it. It's not just them.
Yeah, I can't speak to the builder. I mean, I inspect DR Horton homes all the time. They are a very fast builder, but they are by no means the worst. Yeah.
Always one somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I was in a property, and they had, so stairs are supposed to be 7 3/4 inches tall, and they were a brick tall and a brick wide. So they had a 13-inch drop from their house to their garage, and they had 5 steps for 13 inches. It should have been 2 steps. And I said to the guy, I'm like, like, did you build this? And his response was like, well, like,
sure.
Well, you didn't have enough brick, so you built them incorrect. It was like, it just, yeah.
So it sounds like.
Yeah.
I did. The house we lived in was a new build as well, and I, of course, was not a realtor at the time and didn't have my own inspector. I think I lucked out because I never really had anything wrong with the place, and I signed off on them having like cut in my tile. It was just laminate flooring, so I really didn't give a damn, and I wanted it closed, and we were supposed to move in like a day after they were just getting finished.
Right.
So of course they're rushing me to sign off on it. Otherwise, I'm like, if you replace that, how long is it going to take? Oh, 2 weeks. I'm like,
yeah.
They would have to do the entire thing over.
I will say, so I'm hearing from clients like pretty frequently. They're saying, if and I know that, as realtors, we're trying to encourage people to get as much done as they can before closing, but people want to close and stuff. Just know that I am hearing so frequently that they stop returning your calls once you've moved in. So, I mean, yeah, if you can get it done before closing, definitely do. And yeah, it's just.
Well, we have been told by another realtor with my team, just happens to live in a subdivision that's still being built out by a different builder. And the people that are having those homes built can't even get in contact with anybody. And there's issues on getting it done, I guess. They just want updates and can't. The
I
salesperson's already gone, so he won't answer the phone. And then I guess the corporate wasn't answering or something. It went to an answering service.
I will commonly, because it's new construction, they won't have a lockbox on there, and so they'll say, "Oh, the builder will open it for you," and so I'll call, and sometimes it's the sales rep, and I mean, I cannot tell you how many times it's happened where it says this voice message is full. It's like, oh, I have 3 hours to get this entire inspection done, and it's not open. So I just go start checking windows because there's almost always a way in. I shouldn't say that because giving thieves
there is. It's usually not locked, so
right.
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild to see new construction. I mean, and for people watching this, there are 3 inspections you should do when you're having new inspection. You should have a phase 1 inspection that's right before. So they put in the rebar and the framing for the foundation, and then right before they put in the cement, I recommend having what's called a stage 1 inspection. We're checking to make sure that there's the proper liners down, that there is gaps in between the plumbing and stuff, and that the post tension cables, which is most of the foundations that we're having in our area, that they have cabling or plastic sheathing rather all the way to the end, so that it isn't, the cable itself isn't subject to moisture and stuff as it's encased in cement. And then just making sure that you have the proper gaps on your plumbing and stuff so that cement is going to fill in around them, and they're not going to have to go in and dig through your foundation to fix your plumbing. And just making sure everything is sitting properly. And then the other thing, and it seems like something you go, that's crazy. Sometimes somebody will either the rebar will sit on these little tables, and that allows the cement to go in all around them and stuff, and to have the proper depth of your cement and everything. Sometimes something will get pushed up and they'll get knocked over and stuff, and you'll have rebar like right up next to right next to the top of the foundation and stuff, so it's not deep enough, so that can easily split. And then the other thing is, if there's mounds or trash or debris in there, I've seen them pre-pour like right before it's supposed to be poured, and they'll have like a section where it's raised up, and you'll have like 1.5 inches where it's supposed to be 6, 8, 12 inches deep or whatever the foundation is supposed to be. And it's like, if that's not mentioned, they're just going to pour. The cement guys are going to go in, they're going to have the cement trucks. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be fixing it on that day. So that's a phase 1. Phase 2 is right before, so all the framing's done, right before all the drywall goes on. And then a phase 3 is just the final inspection before people move in, just to check all the major systems, AC, foundation electrical, AC and heat, roof and plumbing. Yeah. So three different inspections along the line. And then the other one is definitely recommend having an 11-month inspection, because you most likely have a 1-year warranty on it. And so you get everything inspected, and then you give it to the builder, and then they have a list of things that they should do. I find dislodged flues and stuff very frequently in new construction, or in these warranty inspections, and it's just leaking carbon monoxide. It could be leaking into the attic or whatever, but still, it's something that should be addressed. I don't just say it because I'm an inspector, but definitely get it inspected, even if it's not with me.
Yeah, I completely agree. It probably would have saved me a few headaches when I built that house, but Overall, it was pretty good. I mean, and I will say who did it, Beezer. So Beezer builds at least somewhat quality here. Ours was quality. So
and I will also say that I blanked on what I was going to say.
it'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
But yeah, we never had foundation problem with it. I think I had like one little crack in 10 years.
That's great.
It did crack across the garage floor. It did do that within the first year, but it never expanded. So
I remember what I was going to say. Trek even has Trek. If for the people who don't know or watching, the Texas Real Estate Commission is the same group that they facilitate realtors and inspectors. So they're the governing board for us both, and they have a form in there for your protection. Get an inspection. And I will have realtors telling me, "Oh, we're waiving option, and we're not getting an inspection." Even if you don't, even if you want to waive your option period, still have an inspection done, because it gives you at that point. And again, I'm not encouraging that you that you waive your option period. I mean, I know it's a competitive market, but you don't want to get into the money pit. But yeah, it's even if you waive option, you still should have an inspection done. You can still do that. It's just not you basically at that point, other than like lender required repairs, aren't going to be able to negotiate repairs, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I have a listing that's closing the end of this month, and it had, of course, the usual multi-offer situation. Only one person wanted to waive their inspection period or their option. I was kind of surprised that they wanted to waive the option, but no one else did. So at least they're seemingly not doing that. I guess as much as they were, but they are still waiving appraisals.
Yeah, that's
financing.
And that's completely different in the sense that if they do have the money to cover the difference between the appraisal
and the money, please share. I was like, I'm in the situation of we're having to look somewhere to move now too, and can't buy anything right now.
I have changed, like I barely do from the real estate side. I did one listing and one buyer last year, and they were both my wife's friends. And because I've been so busy with inspections that's just been my focus. I did about 350 inspections last year. I'll do over 400 this year. But I listed one in Lavon, and there was cash offers that came in, and then one of them kept calling and saying, "What do we need to do, to finish this?" And I was like, "Just wait till Sunday." And when, present all the offers, and they bid against themselves 3 times. And I gave them no information about, I just said, we just want to make sure we have all the offers in, just your best and final on Sunday. And they, at one point they were the highest, and then they bid again and were against themselves and were once again the highest. And then they actually ended up getting outbid by another cash offer at the end. But when I put the listing up, I said, proof of funds with, just send your proof of funds with the offers, just so it's all upfront and stuff. And one of the proof of funds letter had $52 million in it.
Oh, well, yeah.
And my broker's like, "What?" I said, "They're just, trying to get rid of money. They're just like, oh, we got to pay more than asking. Oh, well, like we just got to put it somewhere." And then they're like making more money.
I guess I'm assuming they're an investor if that's how much money they have. But even the investment companies weren't offering, a huge amount over list compared to the actual people.
Right.
A lot of the first time. There were more than one first time home buyers on there, and they were the higher offers.
Wow, I'm glad though, because I want people to get homes.
Yeah, me too. And I wasn't planning on trying to look for one right now either, but our landlord decided, hey, let's raise your rent June 1st. And I'm like, no, I don't want to pay what you're wanting. So unfortunately, we're still renting. See, what I should have really done was just go ahead and buy a house a few years ago and did not do it because we had sold that house at Paloma Creek in 2017. So didn't really want another one right away.
Right.
In our
But
situation.
I will say, and I know it's, it doesn't make that go away, but 3 years from now, it's going to be the same thing. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
I know. I don't qualify to buy a house right now. That's really the main issue. I'm like, it's not really the home price issue.
Right.
It's the don't qualify at the moment issue.
Right.
Unless I want to like liquidate half my retirement, then sure. I won't do that right now for something that we have a month and a half or 2 months to look at either. If I had a whole year, to look for something, and we might do that, but and also I'll have more, as a 1099, you have to have a certain amount of income years on there. So
yeah, that is. Yeah, wait, they don't let you do stated income anymore? No.
Well, they do, but there's
much
we
more
had that
challenging.
discussion with the lender last week. Yeah, they actually are, but they're more down payments. Down payments are higher.
Right.
It's bank statement basically, so they have to see the bank statement showing X amount of dollars sitting there for 30 days.
That's wild.
So like I could take it out, or whoever could just gift it to me if I put it in a savings account, let it sit there for 30 days to where it doesn't show that it magically appeared, that it's always been there.
Yeah, seeded money.
It's currently money, and we don't care where it came from, but we want 15% down.
Wow.
It's basically what they were wanting. It was either 15 or 10. There were two different products. One's 15 and one is 10.
Wow.
So it's higher down payments, basically.
That's wild.
And your FICOs have to be pretty high, which mine is, so it didn't really matter. But, at the same time, do you want to do that for something you're not sure you want?
Yeah.
It's like, just wait.
Yeah.
Even if hire a year from now, just if that's the situation you're in, just wait. And as a realtor, I'm not going to push anything on anybody either. I will tell them straight up, this is your situation. Do what you want to do, because I can't tell you no.
Yeah. And it's cyclical. It won't always be this market. I mean, it's difficult to see now when we're in it, but it will eventually at some point change, and it won't be, I did an inspection near Fort Worth, and they had 59 offers on the house. And the guy who got it, I was like, congratulations, like you beat out 58 other people. And he didn't even seem like happy about it. And I was just like, it didn't. And then his parents pulled up in a brand new like Tesla SUV, and I was like, oh, okay. Like they're the ones who gave him the money. Like it was just like, oh yeah, who knows what they offered over, but it
should have at least been happy he won the game.
Right.
You're better than 59 other people that put a bid on a house.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, yeah, he was just like, oh yeah, like it was.
Yeah, I know there's. Excuse me, shouldn't be doing that on 5:30. Yeah, one of our other agents had a buyer trying to get a kind of a higher end home in Dallas. I think that had 120 offers on it at one point. I'm not sure what total was by the time they got done. Obviously, they didn't get it.
That's, I mean,
you can't compete with that. It's like, how do you?
even think about the amount of work from the realtor side, having to like go through and then present offers and saying, okay, this person has this, and because of all the negotiable items, that's
Basically, they need the least amount of contingencies possible and the like highest cash offer.
right.
Because
Yeah,
I mean, some people may be okay with taking the third party financing offer if it's higher, but they're more likely to take cash.
that's
And I
yeah.
think the cash amounts, the number I saw this week or last week, at least a quarter of the deals over the past year have been cash, and it's higher than normal. I think
That's
like under 20% before, so it's
wild.
increasing. Um, and actually, the one I'm doing now is cash deal too. But it's backed by a bank. It's one of these weird. The buyers are getting a mortgage through this finance entity, and they're fronting it as a cash offer. Is what's
Wow.
happening. So they get the benefit of being a cash buyer, even though they're not.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those popping up, and they're helping people win bids. I've never looked at the fine print on it, but
And I haven't either. This one
yeah,
happens to be some company out of Austin. Just, they're making their money off the financing side, so it's not
right,
like they're losing money.
right.
They get the set mortgage
Yeah.
whenever they get bought. So same thing with I don't remember the name of the company. Knock is another one that's financed by big wigs, and I guess they weren't doing too great, so they had to let a lot of people go.
Wow.
So I just read that yesterday.
That's wild.
Same sort of product, although they had two different products. There's one they would actually buy your house before you move with cash while letting you, once you're out, and then once you're out, sell the house that you were in.
Mm,
And then you get like 30, 90 days or something to sell the house. So you're
mm.
not in there at the same time, which is kind of cool.
One of the offers that came through on the one that I listed last year, they just offered a 30-day uh, lease back. We didn't ask for it; they just offered it, which allowed my clients, they were moving out of state, to just um, get their affairs in order and everything, and just get it and not have to stress about, oh, we got to get the money and then, be able to move and get out and stuff. And it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, it made for a very appealing offer, just because it was like, oh, it was cash, closed in 14 days and a 30-day lease back. And they didn't ask for anything. I think after the inspection was done, they asked for, I think, $300 worth of repairs, and yeah, it was
Not bad.
not bad at all. And
Yeah, my client's getting lease back too, but she required it, so
mm,
they all had to offer it. I was surprised at the ones that didn't um, want rent. Basically, they're
right,
free. So some of them did, and I'm just like, you sure?
that's
But there
wild.
were a few. What speaking of the leasebacks, the cash offer investors, the bigger corporate ones. There's one in particular that made a point to tell me that they already own homes in the neighborhood and blah blah blah. Like I really care. So they were basically buying it to rent it out, and they would not offer leaseback. The agent's like, "Well, it's not something they can offer." I'm like, "Well, then I can't accept your offer."
Right,
Like, I've already told you this. I'm like, my client needs up to 30 days because she still needs somewhere to go and has to have
right.
funding to purchase that next property.
Wow.
That's the reason she's doing it, not just because she feels like sitting in the house for 30 days.
Right, right.
Like she needs the cash,
Right,
to
for the
get the next one.
transition.
Yeah. So then they were like, no, we can't. Well, and then she kept bugging me 3 times in email. What can we do? What's the update? I'm like, all right, I've already told you. I said maybe they want to consider this in the future. That she got snotty with me, basically like, well, we close 99% or 95% of the deals and don't have this problem and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, here's your 5%.
Yeah.
Didn't tell her that. I wanted to so badly, but I'm just like, I don't have time for this right now. I've got 20 other offers sitting here. People that
That's
want
awesome.
the house to actually live in the house. So
right. That's wild.
So well, I appreciate the time. We made 45 minutes. It's good. I'll have to talk to myself for 40 minutes.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, if anyone needs inspections done, I tell all my realtors that request me, I will work weekends. Even if I'm physically in town, I will work weekends for you. I know option periods are short right now, so yeah, if you need anything, they can request me directly, and yeah, get it taken care of for them. And my motto is, it's my job to make your job easy, for the realtors that request me, and just something they don't have to worry about, consistent. And yeah, and I know how to. I'll talk to first time home buyers, and tell them, hey, these are normal these are normal things that you would see on prop. Every property on the street has these things. So yeah. But again, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Do people that aren't on Facebook, do they just go to jonathanroot.com? Is that the best way to get you?
So right now I work with Super Inspector. They do all my booking, so they can just request me directly through Super Inspector. And if I do get requested, that bumps me to their inspection, so that it basically gives priority to the people who are requesting. So yeah, absolutely. Or they can just, Jonathan Root at, I'm at jr@jonathanroot.com is my email. And I have jonathanroot.com. I just haven't, it's not, it's a lot of work ahead of me.
Yeah. The old jonathanroot.com.
Right.
Yeah. For once again, everyone watching, jr@jonathanroot.com.
Yeah.
Or Super Inspector.
Yeah.
Gotta plug you for something. For
Absolutely.
taking the time with me this afternoon.
Do we have a couple more seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta grab some.
Are you gonna juggle?
Before I was in the real estate world, and before I was in the inspection world, I was a professional juggler. So I did 20 years on the road as a juggler.
Did you actually make good money professional juggling?
So it was a good adventure. I did I performed on cruise ships and stuff mostly. Thank you. So it took me to a lot of great countries. It took me, thus far I've been in 79 countries, and I also performed in a bunch of colleges. So it took me to every single state. So yeah, it's been a wild adventure. So if they just call Super Inspector and say, we want the juggler.
Right. I have seen your juggling on TikTok. So
thank you. Yeah, I'm
or both, whichever one you do it on.
I'm trying to just do inspection videos on TikTok to be like focused, but it's like, I don't have another TikTok. I'll just put another juggling video up.
Why not?
Something fun
Whatever
happens.
gets attention.
Yeah.
All you need. You need that one viral video.
Yeah, it's the truth. And TikTok is crazy. It's like I'll get 200 views on one and then 16,000 the next day. And it's like, I've done nothing different.
That's their algorithm. Someone decided to watch it longer,
right.
I guess, and then it literally is viral. Theirs is a lot different than Facebook.
Awesome.
So like the longer someone watches something, that then kicks it to other users and then fans out.
I think
I've
TikTok
not
has
had 16,000, but I've had a couple that have done a few thousand. But it's normally like 200-ish. I guess they have like a base of people.
You got to get people arguing on your video.
I try. I don't only do real estate videos. If you've watched, I do like, toys. See, not all of behind me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Other than just real estate, because I feel like I'm argue about houses. No,
right.
Someone will comment about something else, especially if they're Gen X and watching toy videos.
I posted a video. It was about electrical, and some guy's adamant, you are not an electrician. You should not be going into the electrical boxes. And I wrote, you should really contact the state of Texas because it's in our standards of practice.
Right.
Like, I'm not just like, hey, let's look in electrical boxes. Like, we have to.
Right. You're just sitting there poking at it.
Yeah.
What does this do?
Oh, that's live.
It works. Make a connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this one works.
Exactly.
Trying to get superpowers.
Right. All right, cool. Well, I think
thank
I'm going to see what Carolina's doing. Hopefully they're winning by the time this is over.
Awesome.
I was watching the game earlier. They're playing in Fort Worth, and I can't go. So,
well, I wish them great success. Great to see you, brother. Have a great day. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, thanks again to Jonathan Root for being here on the program. Live stream of stuff. It's all real estate stuff today, other than talking about the Tar Heels, which, as we're talking about sports stuff, I'm going to look in real quick, see what the score is before I go off. Oh, it's already over. Carolina Tar Heels 95-63. Go Heels. So, whoever's next, be prepared for the ass whipping. Oh, and that would be you, Baylor. So, fellow Texans who have gone to Baylor or go to Baylor, we are your matchup on Saturday. Hope you're ready. Although, honestly, in my one bracket, I did predict Baylor to beat them. So I'll give you that. I do hope they don't. So, all right, I have to go for today. So thanks to a handful of people that watched us. If you want to watch this later, again, it'll be posted YouTube and Facebook, recorded. And again, every Thursday, trying to do this live stream thing. If there's a better day for people to watch these things, let me know. I might be able to change that, because I'd rather interact with you unless I'm interacting with someone on the screen with me. So don't have anyone in chat. I'm talking to myself. So thank you all for watching. Thanks again to Jonathan. If you have any questions about inspections, contact him. If you have any questions about real estate, maybe even residential construction or new home construction, because I am certified in those things, please contact me, coopersellshomes.com, John Turner-McClelland with Texas Pride Realty Group, Home Smart Stars. Everyone have a great rest of your St. Patrick's Day and a happy spring equinox on Sunday. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.